Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to start a new experiment. To fluff or not to fluff. I have two bins. They're both 14-gallon and they both have cut out hole for the air circulation, and I taped some netting over it to prevent bugs from getting in. What I did here was both of them have bedding, equal amounts of bedding that has been sitting here for the past 2 weeks. It's really nice, it's really moist. And I would say there's about 2 inches of bedding here. And you can see I have no drainage holes and I have no holes all the way around. This is how I run all of my bins. And we are going to put in each bin 150 worms. And one of the bins will designate as the bin that we are going to turn up the material once a week as I feed. This is what I do for all my bins. When I feed, I tend to pocket feed, and wherever I feed, I will remove back the material. I will put the food and bedding or whatever it is that I'm adding, and I cover it up. That's pocket feeding. But then I also turn the material over to make sure that the drier material that is on top gets incorporated into the wetter material that is at the bottom, so everything is nice and even. But some people have asked, how often do you need to do that? Do you need to do that at all? And what happens if you don't do it? Well, since I typically do turn the bedding over once a week, I can't really say what happens if you don't do it. So we're going to test this out. I'm going to take the 150 worms, put the 150 here, put the 150 here. We're going to give him a little feeding. We're going to leave him alone for a week. And then we'll start our experiment, and we'll see what happens when one bin is fluffed up on a weekly basis and the other one is left alone. Okay, so we have actually 120 worms in each. Counted them out. So these guys not happy with me right now, but they'll settle in. Put them right in the center. There we go. So 120 in each one. And then we are going to just give each one a little feeding right here in the corner, just to get things started. A little handful of food to welcome them to their new home. We'll do the same thing here. Make space. Give these guys, I already have eggshell here. So, plus when I make this bedding, I have a video on that, on how I make my moist bedding and bedding in general. I put a lot of eggshell or oyster shell throughout the bedding to make sure that there's always enough grit and pH buffer to prevent the bins from going acidic as I feed. But here they are, slowly making their way down. It's going to take them a little while, and for the first week they're just going to spend their time settling in, but that's perfectly fine. And then we will get this experiment on its way. We will designate one bin that we will turn over the material weekly, and the other one we'll just feed. They'll get pretty much the same food and the same bedding when we add it. The only difference will be one will be turned over and one will not. And we will see the kind of worm population we get, if there's any difference at all. We'll also see if there is a difference in the quality of the castings. I like to have my castings moist but not wet, something that I can sift through. So we'll see if there's going to be any difference whatsoever. So if you're interested in following this experiment, please join me. Thank you.